I'll talk about life tables today. Life tables are probability of death tables of an organism at a particular age. So it is the mortality probability table. It depicts the probability that a organism dies before his or her next birthday. What is the utility of life table? Life table is used to calculate the life expectancy, and life expectancy, which is defined at a particular age in life, is the time period an organism is expected to live. So this is life expectancy of that particular organism at a particular age in his or her life. So it is the life expectancy. And what are the uses of life expectancy? It is one of the comprehensive indicators of life health. There are few comprehensive indicators of health by which by using those indicators we can compare the health status of various regions or different countries. So it is one of the comprehensive indicator of health. If life expectancy is more in a particular country, it means that health status is better in that country. The second utility is it can be used to compare overall mortality of two geographical regions or countries. We can compare the overall mortality by using the life expectancy value. The other ways to compare the mortality include death rate, that is crude death rate, age specific death rate, gender specific death rate, and the standardized death rate, which you have learned in the section on demography in your statistics subject. The third utility of life expectancy is it is also used by insurance companies to calculate the premium amount. Insurance companies uh, they they somehow uh, calculate the life expectancy of an individual, or uh, uh, they use the data from the government organizations of life expectancy of a particular age group. So by using that data, they decide the premium amount. So if age of individual is higher, then the premium is higher because there are the life expectancy is less for individuals who are of higher age as compared to individuals who are younger. So they keep the premium amount more so that uh, they can compensate uh, uh, the individual who died. So these are the uses of life expectancy. So how we calculate the life expectancy using the life tables. This is the topic for today. First of all, we will look at the bacterial data. So the bacterial data is very convenient because you can follow certain number of bacteria every day till they all die. So here we are following 100 bacteria till they gradually die and the cohort becomes zero. So this is the cohort of 100 bacteria. Cohort means a group which is to be followed. So we are following a group of 100 bacteria, and on day one, 65 of the bacteria die, and 35 are left next day. 35 are alive next day. Similarly, some of them die next day, and on day after, 25 are alive. So this is how you follow the cohort of the lower organisms which can be followed. And this uh, data will be used to calculate the life expectancy by forming the life table. And these are the other columns of life table. This is a life table which we will build uh, 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 step by step now. So the first column is that is the third column of this table. The first column, which is empty, is the deaths. These are the number of deaths. So if we fill that on the first day, 65 bacteria die. On second day, that is day one, because first day is day zero. On second day, 10 bacteria die. On the third day, 10 more bacteria die. And this is the number of bacteria which die each coming day. The number which are alive at the midpoint of the duration. So our duration is in days. One day, first day, second day, third day, fourth day. And if you assume that half of these 65 organisms or 65 bacteria die in the first half of the day and half will die on the second in the second half. So you uh, divide the number of deaths by 2, and so you calculate the number which are alive at the midpoint of the first day. So by using this data, 67.5 were alive at the midpoint of day 1 and 30 were alive at the midpoint of day 2. So similarly, you calculate the number of bacteria which is present at the midpoint of the duration which you are considering. Here we are considering in days. And for human data, we consider the time unit in years, first year, second year, third year, and so on. So this is in days. So this is the lower part of the table, or the last row of the table. The formulas are given. So to calculate the number of bacteria which are dead on any particular time x, it is equal to the number of bacteria which are present minus the number of bacteria which are present on next day. So this difference between 100 and 35 is the death which have occurred on at the time period of x. So this is 65. Then 35 minus 25 is 10. So similarly, by using this formula, you calculate the number of deaths. And this is the formula for the number which are alive at midpoint of time. So there are two approaches in this. The first approach is the capital Lx. This is capital Lx and this is small lx. So capital Lx means this column is equal to Lx, that is this 100 if you consider the first row. So Lx is 100 minus number of deaths divided by 2. So 100 minus 65 divided by 2, and it will be 67.5. So this is how you calculate the number of organisms which are alive at midpoint of a particular time. So these are the two approaches which you can use, any of the approach. Then the last column of this life table is the organisms which have lived the entire period. That is the person years lived. So person year lived is the cumulative sum of this column. So this is how you calculate the person year lived. Here the heading should be the bacteria days lived, because we are looking at the bacteria and the unit is in days. So the formula is the capital Tx is equal to Tx plus 1 plus Lx. So this is how you add the, you start from the lower part of the table. So the last the value of Lx, capital Lx is 0. So you write here 0. Then you add 2 and it will become 2. And in this 2, you add 6 and this will become 8. In this 8, you add 9 and this will become 17. In this 17, you add 12.5 and this will become 29.5. Similarly, you keep on adding from below and you will get the person year lived. So it means that uh, a particular bacteria will live, these 100 bacteria will live for 147 days in total. These 100 bacteria in total, because the 35 were alive for these 2 days, 25 were alive for these 3 days, 15 were alive for these 4 days, 10 were alive for these 5 days. So by uh, doing accumulation or by adding all of these, we arrive this figure of 147. And this figure is very important to calculate the life expectancy. So life expectancy of bacteria on first day, that is day 0, is equal to capital Tx divided by small lx, that is 147 divided by 100. And this will become 1.47. So by the life expectancy E0, I mean that at the birth, bacteria is expected to live for 1.47 days or 1.5 days. So this is the life expectancy. This is something similar to the half-life which you have learned in chemistry or physics, the half-life of radioactive material. So this is something, the similar concept. So this is how we calculate the expectancy, life expectancy. And it can be calculated for any period. So this was E0 for first period. For third day, you can calculate the life expectancy as 49.5 divided by 25. And the expectancy will reduce gradually, because as organism uh, ages or becomes old, the expectancy of life gradually decrease. It is maximum, usually it is maximum at birth. It may not be maximum at birth, but it is usually maximum at birth. So this is about bacterial data. Uh, Unfortunately, we cannot follow the cohort of human being uh, till the cohort is exhausted by death. You cannot follow 100 human beings till they die, because the life span of human being is much more than bacteria. It runs into many years. Some human can be alive for 100 years, 115 years, or 60 years, 70 years. So it is not possible, it is not feasible to follow human organism or cohort of human organism till the cohort is exhausted gradually by the death of human organism. So we follow an indirect approach to calculate to formulate the life table of human organism and to arrive at life expectancy of human organism. So for human organism or human being, we start with the population data which is available. So I have taken this hypothetical example. You can think it of as a data from a particular geographical region or from a particular country. This is hypothetical example. This is not real example. So in that particular hypothetical country, the first year of life, that is the infants. First year of life means infants. So total number of infants in that country is 545000. This we can count easily. And uh, the second year, the humans which are second year or they are known as toddler. In fact, 2 to 5 years is toddler. So the toddler, the second year children in that country are 512000. You can count. So this is the count of the human population at these particular age groups. By convention, we start with zero. Zero means first year. This is second year, third year, and this data is can be easily. This data is easily available because you can count the number of individuals in that particular age group. And the third column, the other information which is easily available is the number of deaths which are noted in that particular country in the first year age group. So this data is also available. In the second year, these are the number of deaths. So these number of deaths are easily available. You are not following the cohort here. Here we are taking a cross-sectional data of that population. It is a cross-sectional data. By cross-sectional data, I mean that it is a data of one point of time. It is not a longitudinal observation. By longitudinal means to follow up. This is not a follow-up. You are not following a cohort of individuals. This is a cross-sectional data. One point of time, you calculate the number of individuals which are there and the number of deaths which are observed in those particular individuals. So this data is easily available. We start with this data. So this is how we calculate we formulate the life table. Uh, these three columns are available. We calculate the mortality rate by dividing 16350 divided by the number of individuals in that particular age group, and this is the mortality rate. So these are the mortality rates. We know the mortality rate, the formula are given in the last row. The mortality rate is equal to the number of deaths divided by population multiplied by some constant like 100 or 1000. So I have not multiplied by any constant here. It is direct mortality. It is the ratio like dx by px. That is number of deaths divided by the population. So these are the mortality rates. So what is the mortality probability? So this is the formula for mortality probability. Mortality probability is different from mortality rate. Mortality probability, to calculate the mortality probability, we consider in denominator half of the number of deaths. The difference between this and this formula is that in this formula of mortality probability, we add in population half of the individuals who die at a particular age group to arrive at the number of individuals which are present at midpoint of that duration. This is similar to the bacterial column which we, we, we considered there. So these are the mortality probability. And what is the survival probability? So it is the This is mistyping here. It should be read as the survival probability is equal to 1 minus the mortality probability. It should be 1 minus. So if you subtract this from 1, it is the survival probability. So survival probability are higher than mortality probability. This is very good. So this is how we uh, further uh, arrive at the survival probability from the initial data of the population count and the number of deaths. So after this calculation of survival probability, we consider a hypothetical cohort of 1 lakh individuals. You can take 10,000 individuals or 100 individuals. I have taken as 1 lakh. So if I start with 1 lakh individuals on first day, and the survival probability which we have calculated is 0.97 or 97% is the survival in the first year. So the number of individuals which will be available on second day will be the 97% of this 1 lakh. So this is how we arrive at the hypothetical cohort. So this is the formula to arrive at the hypothetical cohort in case of human being. Lx, this is small lx, is equal to small x minus 1 into probability x minus 1. That is, to arrive at this value, you multiply this value and this value. This is the formula. The formula says that to calculate this value, you multiply the previous two values. Hence, it is x minus 1. So this is previous period. To calculate the Lx of period x, you consider the Lx of the previous period and the survival probability of previous period. So this is how we have formulated or we have calculated or we have arrived at the hypothetical cohort of 1 lakh individuals. And now this is the data which we have, and this is similar to the bacterial data which we actually followed. And this is now for human being. We have formulated a hypothetical cohort from the population data. And rest of the procedure is similar to as described for bacteria, because now the cohort is available. So you can do the further procedures which I have described for bacteria, and you arrive at the life expectancy of human organism. So this is for today's lecture.